I have an SUV of 600 kilograms approaching an intersection at some unknown speed. I have a car of mass 400 kilograms approaching the same intersection going north at some unknown speed. Now, we know that the speed limit in this neighborhood is 30 meters per second. When you think about that, that's a little more than 60 miles an hour. The people in this neighborhood don't love their kids that much. But we find that when they crash and lock together, that they scrape across the pavement, they leave skid marks that are going 53 degrees north of east. And if you measure those skid marks and you use what you know about the road, you can figure out that right after the collision, they were scraping along at 20 meters per second. Now the police call you in because you're the physicist, the rocket scientist, and they say, who was speeding? Who do we give the ticket to? Let's solve that problem. Well, if I use my table where I separate out the X part from the Y part, car A has momentum that is all in the X direction, the positive X direction, and it's going to be 600 kilograms times VA. None of it in the Y direction. If we look at car B, all of its momentum before the collision is in the Y direction, none of it in the X direction, and it would be 400 kilograms VB. Now, when I add this up, I get 600 kilograms VA for the system, and I get 400 kilograms VB in the Y direction. But I know that this momentum is the same before and after the collision. And after the collision, they're all moving together, so I can use this equation. So that means that the momentum is going to be, I've got 600 and 400, that's 1,000 kilograms times 20 meters per second at 53 degrees north of east. So that means that my total momentum of the system is going to be 20,000 franci at 53 degrees. Now I can break that up into an X part, a positive X part, and a positive Y part. This is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. And you can see from this side that the thing that I'm multiplying by is 4,000. So that means this is going to be 16,000, and this is going to be 12,000 franci. So this has to equal 12,000 franci. How fast was A going? This has to equal that. It's going 20. This has to equal the Y part of 16,000. How big is VB? 40. More than 80 miles an hour. Throw them in the pokey. Okay? Clearly he was speeding. Questions on how to solve those problems?
Is this actually what they do during?
What's that?
Is this actually how they solve collision issues when they're going to grab.
You're gonna have to say that again. I was distracted.
Actually, what they do to that for job behavior is you're doing your own collisions. Like,
Oh.
do this.
If the question on the exam is that kind of a question, you mean?
No, like,
Oh. Oh, yes. Actually, the person that had my job before I got it was making so much money going to trial. Lawyers were hiring him to go and use this basic conservation of momentum to figure out, based on the skid marks, who was speeding and who they should give the ticket to. In that case, it was not just the ticket, but it was also the $2 million settlement involved. Did that answer your question? Costco called this afternoon and says I can go pick up my hearing aids. They were broken. So on Monday I'll be able to hear you.